Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Angel Storm. Thank you so much for joining me. Today on my channel, I am talking to you about the timing of when narcissists abandon you, when they go into the discard phase. We know that narcissists always use the discard phase for their own benefit, and typically narcissists will move on and discard you when there's another supply lined up, but that isn't always the case. Narcissists love to be in control of everything, and sometimes when there is too much pressure in their mind put upon them in what is required of them in that relationship, they will also abandon you. So these would be very trying times for you. These are times when you would need them the most. You know, your auntie is sick, your mom is sick, some tragedy happened in the family, you lost your job, one of your friends hurt you, something like that. The reason that narcissists will abandon you and discard you in this phase, even if they don't have a supply lined up, is because they are seeking to cause the maximum amount of damage to you. They will prey upon these times in your life as a way to inflict more damage on you. So they're actually looking to hurt you. The further down the scale that you get, I've talked about this before, that the actual clinical diagnosis for NPD is part of the cluster B personality disorders, and this includes things like antisocial personality disorder as well as psychopathy. And when you get further down on those personality disorders that can be clinically diagnosed, you're going to see especially this happen, meaning some narcissists simply just don't like that now there's going to be more required of them. Now, the tension isn't going to be able to be on them. It's going to have to be on you as you're grieving or healing or whatever it is, whatever situation has come up in your life that you need them the most for. And by the way, they don't always need to be negative things. This can be you getting a new job and needing to relocate, or this can be very good things as well. This could be that you're pregnant, or any other thing like that, right? That you found somebody to go into business with, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't need to be a tragic thing, although that is typically what we see the most. It can be something very positive for you, but it's something that you want to share with them, and that you may require something from them. So let's say you found somebody to go into business with you, and now you're ready to start building, building that business, but that would require of them to watch the kids more, for example, to pick them up from school more. The narcissist will typically abandon you during that time too, because the tension and the control factor, this is the only way to get the control back on their terms, so to speak. So the narcissist is going to be looking for ways to shift the trajectory of energy, going away from them and back onto them. And if they need to control that by controlling your time or your availability, then they will do that. So again, that's typically what we see of narcissists. However, when you start mixing in more malicious tendencies with narcissism, you'll see that even if they don't have a new supply lined up just yet, so I've talked about this on my channel before, and just because the narcissist doesn't have a new romantic relationship lined up, which is typically what my viewers are experiencing. Not all of them. Some of them have children or spouse or parents or whatever who are narcissists, but typically it's a spouse or somebody that you're romantically involved with or that you have children with. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to have let me say it in this way. It doesn't mean that they have to have your role that you are fulfilling lined up, a supply lined up in that area. So if you're married to them, it doesn't mean that that they necessarily would have a supply lined up if they choose to discard you in this phase. The more cynical, down the line that we get, the more malicious, again, the intentions are with a narcissist. If they see an opportunity to hurt you, they will take it. And that's why the timing of when they're going to discard you can actually be predicted. It doesn't necessarily just need to go in the cycle of abuse, although that is what we see. So in other words, if there is no tragedy, if there is no change in circumstances where you would need the narcissist more, you would still continue to go through the cycle of narcissistic abuse. You would still have the love bombing phase. You would have the devaluation phase. You would have the discard phase. Okay, so these things would happen regardless. However, that cycle can get sped up, or even steps would be skipped if the narcissist sees that it would be beneficial to them. So again, this can be hurting you more, causing more of a damage to you emotionally, mentally, and even physically. If leaving you would leave you financially hurting in that moment, the narcissist will take it, even if they don't have a supply lined up. And that's because, again, they're going to get the energy that they need from you on their way out the door by choosing that time to discard you, to abandon you. And that will suffice until they find another person to play your role, to fill the role that you were just playing in their life. Keep in mind as well that narcissists are not, they have multiple supplies, even if it doesn't look specifically like the role you are filling currently. Beyond their flying monkeys, narcissists will have, for example, people at work that are their supply, or friends that are also narcissists that encourage their behavior. So there's always an area in every situation that they're involved in their life where they have somebody who acts as their supply in that space. Okay, there's a reason why they're still getting energy. They're still being encouraged to do what they're doing in every aspect of their life. So let's just say, again, for the sake of this video, you're married to the narcissist. The narcissist may not have somebody that they can go sleep with the day that they leave you, but that isn't going to matter if they can get enough energy by knowing they are inflicting pain upon you, and then they go to work the next day where they're surrounded by other narcissists who encourage that behavior, or they have supplies at work that they can use. So it's important to recognize that a lot of people do think like, well, does this mean that they have a supply ready? Does this we tend to ask the wrong questions, which I've also talked about on this video, not asking the right questions to get the answers that you want. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if they can replace you specifically in the specific role that you are filling in their life right now. It's always about the narcissist. So it has little to do with you except that you are the one filling that role for them at this moment. So again, the narcissist is always going to be chasing the next high that they can get from the energy that they can extract from somebody else. At the beginning of this video, I was talking about the timing of when narcissists will abandon you. And yes, they will abandon you to some extent when they do have a new supply too. So this can either be a convenient time for the narcissist, or even if it is inconvenient and they know that they can damage you, then they'll discard you then, even if they're not fully through the cycle of abuse, okay? And so that's really the summary of this video. I just want you to be aware that when you're dealing with a narcissist, it's the things that you share with the narcissist can and will be used against you. Absolutely. And especially when you need them the most, they are likely to leave you during that time, because the only way for the energy to get shifted back to them, let's say, somebody in your family is sick and now you're very focused on helping that person, of being there for that person, of spending time with your family in that moment and things like that. The only way for the narcissist to shift the energy flow back onto them is by causing another crisis in your life, is by leaving you in that moment and hoping that the trauma bond is strong enough that you will give them the energy they are looking for on their way out the door. And in the meantime, the narcissist is free to spin the story however they want to, so that they get sympathy from the flying monkeys, and even potentially use that story to find a new supply. So I hope that this video does help you understand the timing of when narcissists abandon you. There is actually a way to tell when narcissists will do that. And hopefully this will help prepare you as well. So if you know that something is happening that you're going to share with the narcissist, it is a wise idea for you to tell somebody that you trust who is not the narcissist. So a friend, a family member, whoever is a coworker, whoever you trust beforehand, so that they are aware that you might be going through multiple issues, multiple circumstances, life circumstances at the same time. And that way that can help you handle each crisis and recover from the abandonment of the narcissist in a more complete way. So again, my name is Dr. Angel Storm. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and then click the little bell so that you turn on the notifications. Whenever I upload a new video, you'll be notified, and I'll see you soon.